News starts right now.
Our weather team keeping a close eye on the radar tonight as isolated storms move through our area.
Yeah, some areas have already seen some hail this evening. That's been a concern all day with this storm system. Let's check in now with meteorologist Adam Caskey for the very latest.
And Myra, Steve, everything has moved out of San Antonio and actually out of Bexar County, and we don't anticipate any redevelopment locally. You look at the radar over the past hour, and it does show a few of those cells that popped up. We still have one ongoing severe thunderstorm warning. This is in Comal County and passing just about to clip the east side of Canyon Lake. So basically roughly where the dam is located there. And you can see it moving just past Smithson Valley. Not a lot of lightning and thunder associated with these, but you can expect some hail up to about a quarter in diameter, about the size of a quarter, so about 1 inch in diameter. There's Canyon Lake on the top. Here it is. Bordeaux Vintage Oaks. This is all pushing off to the northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So we can try to clock this out for some communities, though I know once it gets farther north into Comal County, there aren't necessarily a whole lot of neighborhoods out there. It gets to be a little more sparsely populated, but we can time that out at least for a few communities. And if it stays intact, San Marcos by about 6:34. Reedville, maybe 6:45. That's assuming it stays intact. Elsewhere, we don't have anything else developing. And like I said, we're unlikely to have more development now. But you look at the hail tracks with this storm. This is just over the last hour. And you see how it would pulse up and drop the hail where we have these purple colors here. And in particular, parts of Stone Oak and then just outside of Stone Oak near 1604 and Bitters, some larger hail about 1 inch diameter. We're going to talk more about what's happening on the radar screen, even in other parts of Texas, and our increased fire danger on the way coming up.
Thank you, Adam. Well, we've been dealing with dangerous fire conditions for weeks here in Bexar County and in surrounding areas like Medina County and farther to our south. This has prompted Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolff to issue a disaster declaration this morning. By doing so, this will ban all outdoor burning in Bexar County. Judge Wolff says he consulted with the county fire marshal and emergency management coordinator to discuss how this declaration will protect people and their property. Those who violate the order could face a fine of up to $1,000. Next week, the fire marshal will recommend a burn ban.
Those dry conditions certainly playing a role in the fire that is ongoing at JBSA Camp Bullis. It is now 88% contained. That's according to JBSA officials. So far, more than 3,000 acres have been burned. Officials also say that the overnight mist and some rain that we saw this morning is actually slowing down the threat of the fire spreading even more. Still no reports of any injuries or any structure damage. Crews plan to stay out there until this fire is completely contained.
At 16 years old, 16, he faced a capital murder charge as an adult. That was 4 years ago. Today, that defendant sentenced for the crime.
Erica Hernandez in the courtroom as Raul Cervera learned his punishment, and the victim's family said it is not enough.
Raul Cervera stood silently as his sentence was read.
I'm going to assess punishment at the maximum available to me, 30 years. I'm going to give him credit for time served.
On November 2018, he shot and killed 20-year-old Abram Garcia while he was in the process of selling Cervera marijuana. 5 months after he was arrested, a judge ruled that Cervera would be certified to stand trial as an adult, and he faced a capital murder charge. In a sentencing hearing today, multiple witnesses took the stand talking about Cervera and how he has changed through the years.
He's very, very sorry, and he knows what he did was wrong.
Positive change for sure. You know, he's learning to channel his emotions through God.
After the sentence was read, family of Abram Garcia gave victim impact statements.
To me, 30 years is not enough because my grandson's life was worth more than that.
In 30 years, not enough compared to what you took from us. Not enough.
Because Cervera took a plea deal, that capital murder charge was downgraded to a first-degree murder charge, and now he is eligible for parole after serving half of his sentence. At the Juvenile Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez is vowing not to prosecute people for personal health care decisions. This move comes after a controversial case of a woman being charged with murder in connection with an abortion in Starr County. That's west of McAllen. The district attorney in that county has since dropped those charges. Now, DA Gonzalez joins 4 other district attorneys throughout Texas in his decision. In a statement, he said in part, quote, "A pregnant woman seeking medical care should only be concerned with getting proper health care, not unlawful arrest," end quote.
A 6-year murder mystery now one step closer to resolution after the suspect arrested and later admitted to being part of the case where a decapitated and burned body was found in a dumpster. 39-year-old Jorge Silva was charged with murder in the death of Javier Soto. Silva arrested in connection with the human smuggling and drug possession charge back on April 2nd. During an interview with DPS agents, Silva admitted to killing Soto by giving specific details regarding the way he died. Soto found in a dumpster on Goliad Road in August of 2016.
The number of DWI arrests during Fiesta is down for the 4th straight time that San Antonio has held the citywide celebration. The lower arrest numbers are certainly a step in the right direction, but RJ Marquez tells us there was still a concern here and a question: how to keep DWI arrests from increasing to what they were before the pandemic.
Thousands of San Antonians hit the road during Fiesta, and today San Antonio police released statistics on DWI arrest. Police arrested 129 people for driving while intoxicated during this year's Fiesta from March 31st to April 10th. That number is less than in recent years. The department arrested 169 people for DWI last year during a shortened Fiesta, 204 people in 2019, and 227 people in 2018 during those Fiesta timeframes. Even though this year's stats continue a downward trend, organizations like Mothers Against Drunk Driving say it's still too many.
Our population basically doubles in our city because of the festivities. So I know there's going to be certain events where there's more people.
Jackie Pena with MAD says drunk driving is still an issue in San Antonio, and that's been reflected with some early stats this year.
Before Fiesta started, we were already at over 1,200 arrests for the year. And so many people have gotten hurt or killed.
Pena says there are still people getting behind the wheel after drinking, and with COVID on the decline, Matt is seeing DWI arrest numbers in Bexar County similar to pre-pandemic levels.
It's been like 6,000 to 7,000 arrests every year. So the numbers have gone down, but again, people are still getting hurt, people are still getting killed.
Pena said MAD just wants people to take action before they go out, whether it's designating a sober driver, using a rideshare, or a car service.
I want people to plan ahead all year long, just the way we're planning our perfect outfits or where we're going to go or what event we're going to do.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Happening tomorrow, a new episode of Breakdown with hashtag Steph and Steve, covering teen mental health and suicides. We spoke with a high school student who says she struggled with mental illness at a young age.
Suicide has unfortunately been something that I've known since I was 10 years old. The first time I ever thought about, do I really need to be here? I was in 4th grade.
4th grade. You can hear the rest of Ainsley's story tomorrow night at 7. You'll also hear from mental health experts about the signs to look for if your child is having mental health issues or if you're just not sure. You can watch Breakdown live on KSAT.com or any of our KSAT streaming apps.
Cibolo Mayor Stan Stosh Boyle pleading guilty to 2 felony charges today as part of a plea deal: aggravated perjury and tampering with a government document with intent to defraud. These charges are related to his ineligibility to hold office in the first place, and yet he will still finish out his current term. Garrett Berger tells us about the deal the Texas Attorney General's office struck with Boyle and shares the mayor's reaction.
You plead guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
The answer, spoken softly, ending a more than 2.5-year battle that at the end, Cibolo Mayor Stan Stosh Boyle still paints as a win.
I feel like it's a victory for the community. The citizens of Cibolo have stood behind us all the way.
At issue is Boyle's eligibility to be mayor at all. He pleaded guilty in 1998 to a federal charge of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute MDA or ecstasy. But to get on the ballot in 2017 and 2019, he still swore on an application he had not been, quote, finally convicted of a felony for which I have not been pardoned or had my full rights of citizenship restored by other official action.
I don't feel guilt or remorse over it. I did what my heart told me to do and what I was told at the time.
Boyle has previously said he believed he had been released from the resulting disabilities of his conviction. a phrase out of state election law.
There's a lot of work to do with that law.
As part of his plea deal, Boyle got deferred adjudication on 2 felony charges related to the 2019 case. So if he completes community supervision, he won't actually be convicted. And even though the deal also includes admitting he was ineligible to run for mayor in the first place, it allows him to finish his term before he has to step down. And Boyle intends to finish that term, which will likely end mid-November.
They obviously chose to have me represent them, and hopefully I'm doing it in a manner that's making them proud.
In Guadalupe County, Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
The prosecutor from the Attorney General's office also said the agency will be dismissing the misdemeanor charge related to Boyle's 2017 ballot application and that it is not pursuing charges in a theft investigation against Boyle. KSAT reached out to the AG's office to ask why it decided to allow Boyle to finish out this term as part of the plea deal, but we did not receive any answer before airtime. More than 41% of people have experienced a heart-related issue after getting COVID. Now, if that applies to you, check this out. What doctors say that you should do to help you recover. We've got that coming up.
Another life lost on a bicycle has city officials rethinking safety measures. What improvements could be done at an intersection that cyclists describe as dangerous?
Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. The TransGuide camera here at I-37 and Jones Avenue. You can see it is very slow going, both on the on-ramp to the highway there. Really all lanes of the traffic that's headed our way. So certainly rush hour out there at 610.
I'm Stefania Jimenez, and here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat. A San Antonio family devastated by a driver's road rage. How a mother is now remembering her son who died days before his 29th birthday. What police are now doing to find the killer. Plus, the state of Texas is stepping up its efforts at the border. We're going to tell you how the Texas National Guard is preparing for an increase in migrants. We'll see you for these stories and a lot more tonight on the Night Beat.
More signage and a traffic study. The city of San Antonio has its wheels turning towards safer measures after a cyclist hit and killed on the city's north side last month.
That fatal crash happened back on March 17th on Northeast Loop 410 near the Los Patios entrance. Now, police say the cyclist disregarded a stop sign there on the access road, but a city advisory board says that intersection itself can be dangerous and needs improvements.
Alicia Barrera spoke to the board's chair on what's needed to make the Salado Creek Greenway safer.
Be careful, they haul through here.
Caution. It's on the minds of cyclists and posted high and low as people approach this crossing under Loop 410 and across the entrance of Los Patios.
You have to slow down, you have to look over your shoulder for sure.
While cyclists are instructed to unmount and walk their bike to prevent accidents,
The traffic is going 45 miles an hour. That's a high rate of speed.
Frank Cardone and his friends say they prefer not to.
No, I'll stop and I'll look if I can't see, and then I'll start up once I know it's clear.
This even after police say a cyclist, 53-year-old Craig Gullidge, was hit and killed after he reportedly did not dismount his bike and rode into the path of a westbound vehicle.
And here's the issue. When you're going north on the Greenway, whether you're walking or cycling, you almost have to stick your neck out to make sure the coast is clear.
Which is why the Parks and Rec Department's Linear Creekway Parks Advisory Board is petitioning for a traffic study.
A traffic engineer will look at all the conditions, the speed limit, the crossing itself, and then recommend additional traffic calming measures.
That project could come in the next 6 months, but already the city has installed a new sign to once again encourage cyclists to slow down and dismount their bikes.
It makes me reevaluate my decisions and be sure not to take any shortcuts.
Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
All right, we've been keeping an eye on some storms out there this evening. Let's get right to Adam. Adam, you said most of this stuff is headed out of our area.
It's pretty much done now, actually, and that last little severe thunderstorm warning that we had has expired. Let's take a look at the radar full screen. You get an idea of the lack of activity, at least in our neck of the woods right now. Not much going on at the moment. You can see just one little thunderstorm there near just east of Canyon Lake. about to move out of the KSAT 12 viewing area, and that's all that we have in place at the moment. Otherwise, I do think our storm threat has passed. So let's take a look at this, and we talked earlier about its track of hail that it had. It has really weakened significantly, so no longer a severe thunderstorm. You go into northern Comal County, you're just west of I-35 here. You've got Hunter Road, FM 1102, Royal Forest area, Shady Hollow, and a few other roads there. And that's where we have the lingering little bit of light rain. Not even a dent in the drought, unfortunately, with what's left of that shower. But we can take a look at how much rain fell over the past 12 hours from the shower activity. We had just a few thunderstorms pop up, and they did at least drop some rainfall for a few communities. And some of these communities are right along the aquifer recharge zone. So it's nice to see that, at least in terms of the aquifer. I wish we could spread the love everywhere, but we don't have control over that. And what did fall was partially over the recharge zone. You get into parts of Stone Oak, and where you see the green, that obviously indicates some slightly higher accumulations. And we'll get some numbers here. Just north of Evans Road, about 1 inch of rain. That's Encino Rio area. So between ½ an inch to an inch in parts of Stone Oak. You go farther to the west, and we see similar readings, generally under an inch of overall rainfall, even around towards SeaWorld and Alamo Ranch area. So it was a quick hitting, and there was the potential in our atmosphere today of even rowdier thunderstorms, but we never realized that potential. The cap that we had in place was just a little too strong, and we weren't able to really break through that cap. So that's a look at the swath of rainfall that moved through parts of Bexar County today. Highly isolated. Notice not much else in terms of rainfall overall, and our storm threat has now passed. If we got to this point and we don't have anything on the radar screen, we're not expecting anything else to develop. Now, this is what we had earlier today from one of those storms. This is about 1604 in Northwest Military, definitely quarter-size hail. So there were some large hail reports, severe criteria, 1 inch in diameter or more, which is the size of a quarter. Here's a look at the radar. Those storms just pop up, come and go, quick splash and dash. You go north up I-35. That's where the action is. Not a good time either, being rush hour, to have all this severe weather, severe thunderstorms, even some tornadic activity farther to the north up I-35, north of Austin. And you see, that's really the bullseye in Texas right now. So this evening, our storm threat is done. We'll just see temperatures falling through the 80s. By 10 o'clock, 80 degrees, and still humid. Muggy around town right now, but you go west and you're in that dry line. The dry line's pushing westward. Humidity is going to take over tonight. But by midday tomorrow, humidity swept away. We're going to have desert air back in place. Dew points down near 20, I think even less than that. And then the dew points rebound. The humidity rebounds by Friday. But with that dry air tomorrow and a gusty wind, increased fire danger again. It's back in the picture tomorrow. Look at Cotulla, 104 now. Del Rio 102, a lot of sunshine, dry air, really heats up quickly. Bernie 86, Bulverde 84, Canyon Lake 82. Some parts of our area had rain-cooled air, or we're just underneath the shadow of some of that thunderstorm activity. Tomorrow morning, right near 70 degrees, pretty straightforward. By the afternoon, we make it back into the 90s, from 93 in Bandera to 97 in Floresville and Nixon. A lot of sunshine once we get through the morning tomorrow. With that very dry air, northwesterly wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Gotta watch out for that wildfire danger. If something does develop, it will spread rapidly. Another one of those situations. Look at Thursday morning, 53. By the afternoon, 88. Good Friday, 80s. This weekend, a few afternoon pop-up storms, but don't be changing any plans. Very isolated in nature, and low 90s for highs.
All right, we still wait on a good chance at rain. Thanks, Adam.
Meanwhile, they breathe a sigh of relief that they didn't see rain at Wolf Stadium as the Missions get ready for their home opener. Greg.
We got just a little bit, but not enough to delay the start of their home opener tonight against the Frisco Rough Riders. When we come back, we'll get you ready for opening day here at the Wolf. And also when we come back, we're going to take it live to New Orleans to get you ready for that play-in game tomorrow night. Coming up. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to Wolf Stadium for the Missions home opener in 2022. They begin a 6-game homestand tonight against the Frisco Rough Riders. They're coming off a very successful road trip to open up their season down in Corpus Christi against the Hooks, including that big 16-3 rout on Sunday. And very much a part of that big victory was starting pitcher Thomas Eshelman. Thomas, thanks for joining us today. Hey, coming off a great weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good team effort all the way around all weekend, so it was good to get 2 out of 3 in Corpus.
Was it a little concerning to you that first game was 14-2 when looking back?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game to get the season started off with, but we came back on Saturday and had a gritty win, and then obviously we had the bats rolling on Sunday, so it was a good game to pitch in for sure.
Yeah. On that one in particular, what was your line on that particular game?
I went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts.
You gotta love that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, offensive support was great, so it's always good to pitch in those games.
And what does it say for the team to be able to rebound in those 2 games, a 3-2 game in that second game and then that blowout in the third after giving up that many runs in that first game?
It shows our character. I mean, we're here to work. We're here to get better each and every day, and for it to translate onto the field it's something that the coaches love to see and the players like to feel. So just looking to build off it into this series with Frisco and see where it takes us.
And real quick, what do you think of this team this year? How are you getting adjusted to each other?
I'm excited. It's a good group of guys, a lot of different looks at personalities. So it's something I'm excited to see as the season progresses, and hopefully bring a championship to San Antonio.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, now let's take it live from a very windy Wolf Stadium here in San Antonio, all the way to New Orleans. That's where we find our Larry Ramirez with the Spurs.
Hey, thank you very much, Greg. Yeah, you know what? The NBA play-in tournament starts tonight with 2 games, and it will continue tomorrow night with 2 more contests, including the Spurs at the Pelicans right here in New Orleans. It is win or go home. Now, the Spurs held practice in San Antonio this morning before leaving for the Big Easy this afternoon. They got here around 3:30, but there's nothing easy about the challenge they face. The Spurs must beat the Pelicans, and then they will have to defeat the loser of the other Western Conference play-in game between the Timberwolves and the Clippers to grab the 8th seed and advance to the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2019. The Spurs have more road wins and home victories this season, 18-16, so snagging 2 more away games isn't impossible. The Spurs won the regular season series, beating the Pels 3-1, including both games right here at the Smoothie King Center.
It doesn't really matter. One and done situation. Anything can happen. I know Ingram didn't play last time we were there. He's a huge part of what they do. So, we're going to have to go locked in on a business trip, and we're going to have to do what we got to do, stick to the game plan.
It's 0-0. We got to take it as our hardest game yet, our best game yet, and we just got to stay on top of each other.
Here's the matchup. The Pelicans will host the Spurs tomorrow night at 8:30. New Orleans is currently favored by 5.5 points. Greg, back to you in San Antonio.
All right, thanks a lot, Larry. Looking forward to that play-in game tomorrow night in New Orleans. Looking forward to tonight's home opener for our San Antonio Missions. By the way, to be followed with a nice fireworks display, weather permitting. The wind is pretty high right now. Live from Wolf Stadium and New Orleans, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
All right, thank you, Greg.
And we'll be right back. The manhunt is still underway for the gunman accused of opening fire at a New York subway station.
At last check, at least 16 people were injured, no fatalities.
Gloria Pasmino with the latest on what's known about the accused shooter.
Chaos erupting on a New York subway train. People cover their faces and panic as smoke begins to fill the car.
As soon as the smoke flared up, it started to engulf everything.
A shooter donning a gas mask deployed a smoke canister on a Brooklyn subway Tuesday morning, wounding multiple people with gunfire.
There was blood on the floor. There was a lot of blood trailing on the floor. And at the time, in the moment, I did not think that it was a shooting because it sounded like fireworks. All I saw were people trampling each other, trampling over each other, trying to get through to the door, which was locked, and there's just a lot of panic.
Investigators say there is no known motive for the shooting at this time.
That there are currently no known explosive devices on our subway trains, and this is not being investigated as an act of terrorism at this time. We can also report that although this was a violent incident, reportedly we have no one with life-threatening injuries as a result of this case.
In New York, I'm Gloria Pasmino.
More and more teenagers overdosing on fentanyl. Adolescent drug overdose deaths doubled from 2010 to 2021. That's the latest from a new study published today in the medical journal JAMA. It's the Journal of American Medicine. showing about 500 adolescent overdose deaths in 2010, more than 1,100 last year. Fentanyl, involved in more than 75% of the deaths in 2021. Researchers say the increase isn't because more teens are using drugs. It's because drug use is becoming more dangerous.
Law enforcement agencies worldwide are taking action against cyber criminals. They've taken control of a popular website that is used by hackers to advertise stolen data from U.S. consumers and corporations. The FBI, the U.S. Secret Service, and the Justice Department issuing a statement on raid forums that reads, quote, "This domain has been seized." Officials from other countries, including the United Kingdom and Sweden, were also involved with the website's takeover.
Today, President Joe Biden in Iowa unveiling his administration's latest efforts to ease the impact of inflation. The new plan allows the EPA to sell a blended form of gasoline this summer that uses ethanol, known as E15. Environmental groups have long resisted E15 due to its negative impact on air pollution, but the White House argues the benefit of saving 10 cents a gallon is worth it. The latest Bureau of Labor Statistics report out today revealed inflation up 8.5% compared to a year ago. That's a 40-year record high. Energy prices, groceries, and rent, the main drivers.
My rent is absolutely ridiculous.
I come to the food bank every week because they have fresh vegetables and stuff that I can't necessarily afford.
It's very hard, very hard. Especially I see a lot of people that have kids. It's even harder on them.
There is some positive news. More than 400,000 jobs have been created each month in the past 11 months. The unemployment rate is 3.6%, near record lows. And leading economists believe the surge in gas prices may have peaked.
A Ukrainian military official says as many as 22,000 people may have died in Mariupol. The latest estimate as the city remains surrounded and under siege by Russian forces.
Meanwhile, President Vladimir Putin says peace talks with Ukraine are at a, quote, dead end, end quote, as new reports of rape and sexual violence against Ukrainian women and children surface.
Mike Valerio breaks down the latest.
As Russian tanks move through Mariupol, smoke billowing above the ruins, a Ukrainian military official now says up to 22,000 people may have died in the city. Those who survived described their homes turned into a hellscape.
All the buildings, including ours, our 9-story building, and all the buildings were destroyed or had holes in them. There were dead bodies in the streets.
You've seen the images yourself. You've seen the devastation that Russian airstrikes have wrought on Mariupol and the city. But our assessment is that the Ukrainians are still fighting for it.
American and Ukrainian officials have not confirmed recent reports of a possible Russian chemical attack on Mariupol. Meantime, Russian President Vladimir Putin said today that peace talks with Ukraine are now at, quote, a dead end.
I have no doubt the objectives are clear and the objectives are noble. I said that at the very beginning. I draw your attention to the fact that in my very first speech, in my address to the nation and the army, I stated the objectives.
Those objectives, Putin suggested, are now narrowed to focus on the Donbas region rather than occupying all of Ukraine. The country's First Lady, Olena Zelenska, spoke through an interpreter, telling CNN how she and her family continue through the atrocities.
It's like walking a tightrope. If you start thinking, how do you do it, you lose time and balance. So to hold on, you just must go ahead and do what you do.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
If you or someone you know takes Adderall, listen up, because the FDA says that some places online are not selling the real thing. The sites you need to know about.
COVID can have lasting side effects on the body, and this time we're focusing on the impacts it has on your heart. More than 2 years into the COVID pandemic, we are still learning about all of the virus's health effects. At this point, there's a long list of long COVID issues, but Ursula Perry shows us a new survey that adds significant heart problems on the list of after COVID effects.
Recovering from COVID can be a long process filled with unexpected complications. A new survey conducted by the Cleveland Clinic shows 1 in every 4 Americans who tested positive for COVID say the virus did impact their heart health.
We definitely know that COVID does affect the heart. We know that the virus causes dysfunction within our vessels. It can precipitate clots in our legs, clots in our lungs, even clots in our heads or strokes.
The survey also revealed 41% of Americans have experienced at least one heart-related issue, such as shortness of breath, dizziness, increased blood pressure, or chest pain since the beginning of the pandemic. And the respondents reported sitting more throughout the day. Experts say that simply moving more and sitting less can lower the risk for heart problems. So can consuming a healthy diet of unprocessed foods and adopting an overall healthy lifestyle. But 1/3 of survey respondents didn't know that stress, high blood pressure, obesity, and smoking can increase your risk of heart disease.
We can't take control of our genetics, but we can still reduce our risk by 90%.
Just simple steps, such as including more vegetables and exercising a little each day, can add up and benefit your heart. The survey also found that 34% of respondents said if they have this in their background, in their family history, then there's really nothing they can do to prevent it. But that is not true. Early screening and prevention can save your life. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
A warning now for people who take Adderall. The FDA and the DEA say that 2 websites are illegally selling drugs being marketed as Adderall without a prescription. Adderall is used to treat ADHD, but there's a high risk of abuse or addiction. And officials say that getting meds without a prescription and buying from unsafe online pharmacies means the drugs could be counterfeit, contaminated, expired, or harmful in other ways.
Take a live look outside with live cam right now, 6:41. The skies have cleared. I'm guessing that means our storm chances for the night are over. Adam Kask.
Yeah, I really think they are. I think our storm threat has passed, and you see those clear skies overhead. We had a narrow window of opportunity for the rain, and unfortunately even some hail, of course, that came with it. For the rest of this evening, pretty quiet out there. 92 right now. By 8 o'clock, 87, midnight, 74. And we'll have some low clouds redeveloping overnight. They'll just drop a few sprinkles, nothing of substance. And we're going to talk about how our fire danger returns very soon. We'll get into that in just a bit.
In the buzz tonight, a school resource officer's quick action saved a choking student. It was all caught on camera. It happened at a middle school in North Carolina in a crowded hallway where Officer Alan Josie was alerted to a 7th grader on the floor gasping for air. Josie quickly performed the Heimlich maneuver, successfully dislodging a piece of candy which the 13-year-old was choking on.
The school confirmed the girl's okay and sending big thanks to the officer for his heroic actions. All right, the world of pizza, it can be pretty competitive these days. A lot of people trying to one-up the other, so every point of differentiation helps. So how about black crust? That's what Sliced Pizza in Las Vegas serves up. The restaurant calls this murder pie. Okay, there's a reason behind all of this. The entire restaurant has a horror theme going with scary props and video games.
How do they make it black? It looks burnt.
Maybe that's what they do.
Yeah, it's located next to a horror-themed escape room, so thrill seekers can get a double feature of food and entertainment. Netflix wants to keep customers happy. The streaming service just introduced a new recommendation tool, a double thumbs up button. Netflix already has a thumbs up and a thumbs down button for viewers to give feedback on what they like and dislike, but the company said it wanted to add another option.
The double thumbs up tool is a way for viewers to let Netflix know which shows and movies they really love. 2 thumbs up. That way Netflix can recommend similar content.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's got 2.
Let's just get straight to the cheesy goodness. Today is National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Nobody knows exactly when this comfort food was invented, but cooked bread and cheese has been around since ancient times. The version that you know and love came about in the 1920s when sliced bread and cheese became readily available.
Back then it was usually served as an open-faced sandwich, but there's no wrong way to make grilled cheese. That's part of why they have stayed so popular, and that video makes me want one now.
They're so good. And everybody's got their own method, you know. I put some mayonnaise on the bread. You do mayonnaise?
Like on The outside? Or the inside?
If you really want to get it good, you could do both. But on the outside, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Pickles.
do mayo.
You butter guy?
Yeah.
Butter.
Pickles, gotta have pickles in it.
Pickles?
Pickles.
Gotta have pickles. Dill pickles.
Of course. You'd be the
Pickles.
guy who wants pickles.
Yeah, dill pickles. Gotta have it in there.
You're some sort of radical.
You're welcome, everybody. I like to live on the edge. Spoon.
Yeah, you do.
All right, let's get to the radar. Take a look at it. You see we don't have any activity out there right now. This is over the past 3 hours, so you're watching a 3-hour animation of the radar. And you see how that activity is mainly far northwest side and far north side of San Antonio and Bexar County, and dropped a bit of hail as well. Some pea to nickel size hail and even quarter size hail along basically 1604 on the north side. So that's that 3-hour loop of what we had. And I mentioned some of that hail. And here's basically 1604 in Bitters area. Some of the larger hailstones that fell in that neighborhood, about quarter size. So that's what we saw from a few of these storms that developed and moved through. The main activity, though, the primary zone of severe weather has been off to the north of us. We're talking north of Austin, especially Waco area, stretching toward Dallas. That's where we've had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings and even one tornado reported farther to the north there. That was north of the Georgetown area. And it's an active weather pattern. We're just on the tail end of it, and our activity's done for now. Storm threat is over with for the rest of the night and for a few days now. Southeasterly wind at 5 to 15, and the low clouds are going to redevelop, and we'll have the humidity through the night tonight, but it's going to change tomorrow. Look at the dew point in Bulverde, 71, Canyon Lake, 70. It is sticky. Pleasanton, a dew point of 69, but the drier air, the West Texas dry line, it's in parts of our area, Uvalde, Cotulla, Del Rio, lower dew points, lower humidity. Tomorrow, the dry air spreads across our whole area. We've got dew points down near 20 and I think lower than 20. Combine that, the dry air, with gusty winds, 20 to 30 miles per hour. It increases our fire danger again tomorrow. So tomorrow by the midday through the afternoon and evening, we'll have that threat again where if, say, a grass fire or wildfire develops, it would spread very rapidly. We're back into that situation. I know we got a splash of rain in some parts of our area, some neighborhoods, but it's still not enough. It's not drought denting or drought busting rain. Check out the temperatures. Cotulla 104, Eagle Pass 102 along with Del Rio. Feeling the heat on the dry side of that dry line. That drier air heats up more efficiently and quickly. New Braunfels now 86, Divine 99 along with Uvalde and Los Maples at 94 degrees. Now, tomorrow morning, pretty straightforward, right near 70 degrees, low clouds, little bit of dampness, so we can't rule out a little spritz or sprinkle here and there. That's about it. Otherwise, we become sunny quickly. We boost well into the 90s. Stinson 96 tomorrow, Poteet 97, Bernie 90, along with Bulverde and Seguin 94, the high temperature, even 97 in Nixon. So becoming sunny, dry, and warm out there. We'll feel some heat. Wind gusts up to 30, very low relative humidity. We could have some dew points down in the single digits closer to the Rio Grande. So that's some very dry air, especially for April. Then on Thursday, 53 in the morning, 88 by the afternoon, nothing but sunshine. Good Friday. Humidity's back at that point. You'll notice the mugginess, mid 80s. And then this weekend, both Saturday, Sunday, and even as we go into Monday, we've got a 20% chance of an afternoon storm popping up. So right now we're not expecting anything strong, but just a couple of those late day isolated little pop-ups could develop. No reason to change any Easter plans around it. Highly isolated and stray in nature. Low 90s and humid this weekend too.
Hunt for the Easter eggs early though. Don't wait until it's in the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Good advice for sure. In case you missed it, coming up next.
It is Tuesday, April 12th.
It seems there was no way out for a man who was hit by a train on the city's northeast side. San Antonio police found his body overnight on the railroad tracks near Interstate 35 and Loop 410.
San Antonio police tell us that man was sleeping on the tracks when the train came along. Police have not released any information about the man who was killed. But just a little while ago, I was speaking to a man who told me he is very familiar with this area. He says that just beyond these bushes here, there is a homeless encampment, and he has seen people from that encampment walking back and forth across these railroad tracks. We still don't know at this point why, though, that man was asleep on the tracks.
In New York City, 19 people taken to the hospital after someone opened fire inside a subway car during the morning commute. They have not found the shooter, but they have found potentially the rented van. They say the shooter, who was wearing a gas mask, set off a gas canister, then started shooting as the subway car headed into Manhattan.
And now that Fiesta is over, we're learning how many San Antonio drivers were arrested for DWI during that 11-day period. According to San Antonio Police, 129 people arrested during Fiesta 2022. That number does not mean that all the arrests were related to Fiesta. It's just timing.
Baskin Robbins gets a facelift. The ice cream chain has a new logo and employee uniforms. This is the first major shift the company says it has made since 2006. So in addition to the new look, there are 3 new flavors that will be available for a limited time. They are non-dairy mint Choco Chunk, peanut butter based totally unwrapped, and coconut swirl.
Looking ahead, tomorrow becoming sunny, windy, and dry. Yeah, some morning low clouds and maybe some drizzle, but sunny most of the day, and a combination of low relative humidity and some gusts up to 30 miles per hour increases our fire danger again. And this weekend, humid, low 90s.
All right, thanks, Adam. And thanks for watching the news at 6.
See you back here on the Night Beat at 10.